Hey neighbor, it's hot. I mean, it's hot where we live and it's dry and it's miserable outside. But we're talking today how you can continue to grow your own food even in this awesome weather. Welcome to the Row by Row Gardening Show, the best dadgum gardening show on the internet, where we talk about gardening, a little bit of cooking, and growing your own food. Now sit back and enjoy. You know, I'll be the first to admit, I've slacked a little on my gardening. This heat has just got me zapped. I mean, in the afternoon I got good intentions of getting something done, and I just don't get it done. I'm lacking a little bit. Did get my peas planted. You know, I just mentioned the other night on our live how I've not had a whitefly problem.
You got whiteflies.
I go out this morning, whiteflies everywhere. So we got whiteflies, we got insects, we got the extreme heat. And I know we always say it was hotter than I believe it's ever been. And it may or may not be, but it's still hot.
Everybody's hot.
Everybody's hot. We have customers calling in from Texas talking about how hot they are. I get it. I get it. And I get
And people are hotter than we are.
Yeah. But it really just gets you down in your gardening morale.
So we're going to perk you up today.
We're going to perk you up today.
We're going to give you something to do.
Yeah, give you some hints on how you can still survive in this hot weather and grow your own food. But first, we got to show some of our abundance from this hot weather. Star David okra, folks.
That okra finally started making. It was slow.
Oh, but slow. But you know,
why, you think?
It's different than jambalaya and calypso. So jambalaya makes from the very top. The blooms will come out the very top because this comes from the suckers.
Oh.
This doesn't come from the very top, so it's actually on down.
So is this the normal size?
It is.
So you wouldn't let it get any bigger than this?
No.
So it's just short and squatty.
Short and squatty.
It doesn't get long.
Doesn't get long. It's not a good pickling variety. It's not a good, I'd say it's not a good stewing variety. It's mainly, in my book, y'all out there that's grown Star David okra before, correct me and let me know your thoughts. I think it's a frying okra. It's really, really meaty inside. Let me see if I can find that pocket knife of mine. And you know, it don't take a lot of it to make a mess. We've realized that.
You got any pocket knives lately?
Not lately, that you know of.
That I know of.
See there, folks? See how meaty it is inside? So we cut this stuff up and fry. Of course, we cut the ends off. If you never fried okra before, you cut this part off, and you cut this part off. And you cut the other up, and that's the way you do fried okra.
And I noticed when I was cooking it, it's not as slimy.
It's not. It's meatier.
Yeah, it's not as slimy as the other okra.
It's not a variety I grow very often. Maybe every 4 or 5 years I'll grow this. I like it. It's not a heavy producer, but it is unusual. It's an old heirloom, so it's interesting to grow them from time to time. Speaking of that, we just happen to have some today that Mama Hoss fried up. Now, for you guys that like to grow your own food, and I know you guys out there love to follow us and love to grow your Jimmy Red corn. So this is Star David okra.
I just like to eat with my fingers.
Breaded with Jimmy Red cornmeal.
Got that corn flavor than the okra flavor.
But if you go to the restaurant and eat some of their frozen okra that you get in these chicken box stuff in town, and you want to compare it to this right here, huge difference. So much more complex flavors there. Man.
I'm just gonna eat. Let you talk.
This is something we've been having at least every other day. We had fish the other night, and I cooked fried okra with the fish. So this Star of David finally started putting out for us. I was getting a little bit worried, and it's head high. I'm 6'3", and this okra is taller than I am before it started making. But it did start making, and we're not getting a lot off of it. I got 2 rows, probably 20 feet long.
But enough.
But enough for us. So
Yeah.
Great okra out there. You want to leave it close by?
Yeah.
Okay. And somebody on the Row by Row the other day was talking about they did not know how to prepare winter squash. Now these are winter squash we grew in the wintertime, in the springtime. And this is a delicata. And this is the way Mama Hoss cooks it.
Okay.
That's your cue.
I was enjoying it here. So slice it in half like he's doing. and you want to scoop those seeds out. Always save them for the chickens or the worms.
Take a spoon is the best way to do it,
Yeah,
and just
I
scoop
think
all
that's
those
right.
seeds out right there.
Yeah, so you just want to scoop them out and get all that meaty part out, and give them a good wash, and then I take olive oil and slather.
Slather. That means generally applied.
Yeah, on the both sides of them. Then I'll put them in the oven and I'll turn them down like this and let them cook for about 20 minutes. Then I turn them over and let them cook for about 20 more minutes, and then I put some butter in them.
Real butter.
Real butter.
We don't deal with that parquet mess, folks.
And seasoning. And then when I take them out, I'll just stir them up a little bit, add some Parmesan cheese, and we have some bacon.
Some bacon that you cured, some of our bacon that we grew here on the farm, and
Well, it came from Perry.
the feeder pig came from Perry Hill Homestead, and we got to have a discussion with him just in a few days, see if we can get
You know,
another one.
taste it.
Yeah, and Mom Hoss, we fed it out, and Mom Hoss cured out the bacon.
Look at that. I did.
Now you will find these delicatas to be sweeter than some of the other ones, like the red curry that we grew this year, and these don't have quite as much meat inside of them as some of the other ones. But these are extremely sweet, and it's good.
Taste it with the okra. Make you an okra boat.
Ooh, yeah. So that's a meal within itself right there. Sometimes we eat just that.
Other night we ate just okra.
So eating off the land, making your own groceries there, and easy, man. Homegrown pork, homegrown delicata, homegrown okra, homegrown cornmeal. Does it get any better? Wow.
Should perk you up. in
Should
these
perk
hot
you up.
days.
Yep. So, you know, what if you live in an area where you can't do some of the things that we do? Maybe you live in a smaller lot, or maybe you don't have a greenhouse, or maybe you don't have, you know, everything you need to grow some of these vegetables that we grow. And maybe you just can't, you struggle when it's in this heat like it is now, like we are. Just struggle to get out there. We're gonna go over today a way that you can grow your own food inside. And we thought about this today because we was really struggling with this heat. We said, man, why don't we start growing? And I've actually got microgreens
Well, actually,
going.
on our live of the night, somebody mentioned about growing lettuce inside.
And we got microgreens that we're growing inside, doing some testing with that. And we've grown lettuce inside a lot. So we thought, man, why aren't we growing our lettuces inside? Because we love to eat salads.
I know I bought some the other day, and it wasn't good. We just ended up throwing it away.
Right. But we have our own lettuce. We can cut it as we need it. And some of these lettuces you can cut 2 to 3 times off of it. And you don't need much as far as equipment and or supplies to do it with.
Okay. So let's just talk about what you need. I'm going to just briefly go over the list, and then we'll go over each one.
And we got to keep these groceries separated. We don't get dirt all over them, because I'm going to have to partake in that after we
Here,
get
give me
through.
that tinfoil.
Whew.
If I put them down there, it's maybe.
Don't put them down there. Just move them over to the side. Yep.
Okay.
But to warm that okra up.
Right here to have them. Okay. So you need your containers. You need your soil. You seed. And you light. So just 4 things.
All right, so let's talk about soil just for a minute here. Now, folks, I'm going to show you what we're going to use today, and by no means is this the only one you can ever use. I'm just giving you a good example of what you want to use. Now, I like a peat-based growing medium for lettuce.
Needs to be fluffy.
Needs to be fluffy. I don't like bark-based, so bark-based is not good to me. It's too coarse. This one right here is one I really like because it's got already some ingredients listed inside of it. Plus, as you can see right here, the pH is already being adjusted to a 6.5, which is important. So this is a good one. However, any good potting soil or maybe seed start mix will do it for you. Normally speaking, seed start mixes are a little bit more finer and they hold moisture a little bit better. But that can be okay as long as you know that and you don't let your soil stay too wet.
But a lot of people start off with bad.
Yeah, bad dirt. And we don't want dirt out of the garden. We want to use a sterile type mix. Although this one right here is not sterile, it's got good ingredients in it.
Yeah, I was watching somebody when I was researching for this, and they were talking about don't put potting soil in your house that's been opened and stored outside because it may have gnats and stuff in it.
I could see where it could have some fungus gnats in it. I could see that. I never thought about that. I could see that.
Said be sure to use some that hadn't been opened and exposed to lessen the insects.
Now what we're going to use today is these little pots here, and the reason we use these is because we sell them, of course, but these fit underneath our grow lights really well. And you got holes in there. Drainage holes is really important for this right here because we want this right here to be able to drain. If it don't drain, then they're gonna drown out.
And those sit on those wicking mats?
Those can sit on the wicking mats, yep.
Now let's talk about containers.
All right.
You don't have to go and buy containers. There's a lot of options where you can reuse what you already have. So if the little containers that the strawberries come in, some of the produce. Clamshells. They've already got holes in the bottom and the top can actually serve as a little dome. Another thing I saw some people using
making a mess.
was some of those clear egg cartons.
Yep.
And again, you want to make sure you got a little hole in the bottom for drainage. And then the top can actually serve as a little humidity dome. So just because you don't have these trays doesn't mean you can't do this.
Exactly. You know what? You can spend a little money to get you some equipment to do this, and it makes life a little bit easier. But you can really and truly grow you some greens inside with very, very little cost.
Yeah. But another thing is if you're going to start some plants in the spring, you could go ahead and invest in some of this and use it not only in the spring, but during your downtime and grow lettuce inside.
Good point there. This right here we use for growing our lettuces. It doubles our 12 cell inserts, sits right inside this to grow our starts in the spring of the year. So now we've filled these up to about this level right here. And you see, whoa, my chair like the wind. Maybe I may need to lose another pound or two here.
You may have to stand up.
See the perlite in there? We have a nice fluffy mix right there. We get this is I say sterile. This is not sterile, but it's weed free. Now, if you're using a sterile pot soil or seed start mix, that's fine. Just make sure it's not too coarse.
Now, I would pre-moisten this before I plant.
You could. Either that or when we plant it in, you just want to mist it in real lightly.
You don't want it soggy.
Nope. What we love growing in these, and there's several things you can grow, but what we love growing in these is lettuce. Now, if you like romaine, which romaine is very good to me, I love romaine. Some people don't. And in case you didn't know, romaine is one that makes up your Caesar salad.
Yeah, you like Caesar salad.
So this romaine that we're using today is Braveheart right here, which is one we don't plant enough of. I don't know why I don't use Braveheart more than
we have parasol and romaine.
Oh, yeah.
Is it a butter?
We got
there's several. We'll
several.
put the
Jericho romaine
in the description to all our lettuces.
Now this right here shows about 65 day to maturity. Little bitty raw seeds. Now these are not pelleted right here. See how they're kind of oblong there? So we want to take these and we want to spread them in there. Take little indentions in there with my finger there. And I want to be where I can put a couple seeds per indention there.
That's not too deep.
Now, we're going to cover it up just real lightly. And when we put 2 seeds in here, we can always go back in there and thin out.
My note says do not plant too deep.
I'm not planting too deep.
Okay.
But I appreciate you looking out for me there. And sometimes you'll get more than 2 seeds like I just did.
So
That's
will you
fine.
thin them when they come up?
Then when they come up, that's what I'm doing. Now, the way I like to do it is take my pocket knife and do it because I can reach in there methodically and thin them out. But you can do it with a pair of scissors.
Yeah,
or,
I've seen people like just cut off the ones
Yeah.
that you don't want.
Instead of pulling them, that's what I like to do. I like to cut them off. I don't like to pull them because it disrupts. Just lightly cover them in right there. Just like that. All right, so we have this bigger one here. And I'm gonna put some regular lettuce in this one here. You see about how much pot and soil we got in there. Kind of go through there and make me some small indentions. No? You don't like that?
That's way too deep.
Nah, it's not.
Okay.
It'll be fine.
Next week when we show that they hadn't come up,
It'll be fine. I planted a lot of lettuce this way. It'll be fine, I promise you. All right, so this one we're planting a starfighter lettuce right here, but this one is pelleted, which is really neat because it makes it easier right there. See that one right there? This one shows about 50 days to maturity, so this is going to be a little quicker lettuce right here. And if you don't know what pelleted lettuce is, this is what it looks like right here. And the reason they pellet lettuce is because it's simply easier to handle.
does it take longer to germinate?
It takes a little bit longer for germinate because this coating on that pellet right there is a clay. And we got to dissolve that off before it can get to the seed. So it is going to take a little longer for it to come up. So I'm going to put 2 per little indentation there. And you can kind of play with the density you want to plant them. I'm planting these about 1 inch apart. You can go a little further.
And these are not transplants that go out in
Nope.
your garden.
Nope. These are going to grow their entire life in this little pot right here. I'm going to take a little soil and I'm going to cover it up very lightly, and we would mist these in. Now, pack it down just a little bit. Now this pot soil here does have a little bit of nutrients into it.
For my mystery.
But you can use a soil that doesn't have any nutrients in it because the reality is it doesn't take any nutrients to get your seed up. None. That's the reason we grow microgreens. Well, we never put nutrients on microgreens. That seed has got enough energy in there to pop through. Now, once it pops through and start putting some of them true leaves on there, then we start having to feed it a little bit. In the past, I have incorporated a little complete organic in there in the soil there, and that's one way of doing it. Sometimes you got to be careful with that, but that is a decent way of doing it. My preferred way is to use a watering can.
A well-used organic.
Water. I got this out of the greenhouse here. This is
Because
not
you
a
got a dirtier one.
well, this one is being used. It comes straight out of the greenhouse. I use it almost on a daily basis, and we got these in assorted colors, by the way. But this product right here is one I like because it's easy. Dr. Joe's right here, and it's got these little tablets inside of it. It looks just like an Alka-Seltzer, and it fizzes up. So I put 1 or 2 of these in my watering can there, and that's what I fertilize with. Now you can also use 20-20-20. This just makes it simpler there on a smaller scale.
How often you fertilize?
I do it about once a week, and if they get looking a little iffy, I may punch that up a little bit. So that's really all you got to do.
So you just got this bottom tray to catch dirt.
That's just a dirt catch tray. This is actually a tray for our deluxe seed starting kit here that I had left over that I just used as a
Now, would you put a dome over them?
I would not put a dome over
Okay.
because on lettuce, you're really not concerned a lot about heat or humidity. Just decent average humidity will germinate these lettuce right here. If I was using tomato seeds or pepper seeds, of course, I'd put a dome on there. But these seeds like to be germinated in about 75 to 80 degree weather there.
Okay. So let's talk about light source.
As soon as these pop out of the ground, they need no light for them to come up.
Need no light to germinate.
Need no light to germinate. But just as soon as they pop out there, we got to start thinking about light, or we're going to have leggy plants. And what we don't want, leggy plants.
So they need 4 to 6 hours of light a day.
Yep. So there's a couple different ways you can do that. You can use a grow light system like we have. We're going to show you a link to it on our site. We've got 3 different ones of these. We've got our kitchen grow light system, our indoor grow light system, or our hanging light grow light system. Any one of those will work for this right here. And also you could put them outside. Now you got to be a little bit careful as hot as it is because they're going to dry out. But you can normally put them outside and they'll get natural sunlight, they'll be fine. Yeah. Or you can
just sit them in a windowsill. Especially these little pots. You want to put something under them to catch the drainage. But
I would use something like this right here.
Or like the little produce trays I was talking about, or the little egg cartons are perfect to sit in those windowsills.
Yep. Now your plants may lean a little bit toward that sun, but that's okay.
So you just turn them around.
Yep.
Every couple of days.
So if you have a light kit that you put inside your house that you can use for growing your vegetables, start your seedings in the springtime and things like that, those work wonderful outside. But you can even do it in your windowsill. So no excuses of why you can't be growing your salads.
So what about air movement?
You need a little air movement if possible. Diseases such as powdery mildew, downy mildew, and some of the other things such as bottom rot or crown rot on these lettuces here can be an issue. So the more air movement you got, and it ain't got to be like this huge fan, a ceiling fan.
You can have a little...
or a little bitty fan, anything like that.
So some people like to water from the bottom versus the top.
I'm not a huge fan of bottom watering. I'd rather water from the top and then have a catch basin underneath there. Now once your plants get up enough that there's roots coming out the bottom there, you can do a little bottom watering.
But you don't want them to sit in water.
But you don't want them to sit in water because you're asking for disease problems at that point. So that's the reason I like to water from the top. I like to drain out so the soil has plenty of area to drain out and don't get soggy. Because that can be one of your issues or your failures with growing lettuces inside is you keep your soil too soggy. You want good drainage. And our light kits have these wicking things on them. So you can actually set this down on that and it'll actually wick that moisture away, and it's got a reservoir underneath there to take care of that. So that's the reason I'm a big proponent of those. Our hang light kit is just a hang light kit, but those indoor and kitchen kits have all that, so you can just set this directly on top of that little reservoir tray inside there, and you don't have to worry about a catch tray or anything. You could turn your light off every night, or you can leave it on 24/7. I've done some testing on that, and I cannot tell a difference.
Or put it on a timer. We have timers too.
We got timers, either one. Grow it in your windowsill, get that natural sunlight. And you know what? Cut this 2 to 3 times, and what you will find is your lettuce is going to be a lot cleaner, and it's going to not take near as much washing or cleaning once you harvest it. Harvest it up a little bit so it will sprout back up, come out. If you go too far down in the crown, you're going to kill your plant. 2 to 3 harvestings off from that.
And after about the second harvest, you would start you another succession.
Yep.
So you'll have it going all through the winter.
Yep. And when you have all your supplies and everything, and when springtime comes, just simply switch over and start your starts inside there. But growing your lettuces inside there and having them when you want them, I mean, if you feel like a nice fresh salad night and you go up there and cut your lettuce off, you got it, it's mighty handy. Plus you know where it comes from.
Sounds good.
Now, what kind of lettuce do you prefer? I know I like the romaines. Do you like romaines as much as I do?
I like that baby leaf mixture that we have.
And you could do that in here too. It seems to be a little tender. Yep.
I'm not a big Caesar fan like you are.
Yeah. So if you got a particular type of lettuce that you like, put it in the comments below. I'd like to hear. I mean, I love the romaines. To me, are a little easier to grow, and I tell you the reason why. Because they have more of an upright growth, and they don't get bottom rot or crown rot as much as some of the others do. Some of these head lettuces that really sit there on the soil there, sometimes we'll get rhizoctonia in there on those, and we don't see that near as much with the romaines.
Awesome.
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 So, grow your lettuces inside. Very little equipment do you need. I mean, really and truly, when you get down to it, the only 2 things you'd have to buy would be seeds and a pot medium.
Yeah. So next week we're going to talk about growing inside again, but we're going to talk about microgreens, which you can do sunflowers, beets, radishes.
Oh man, sky's the limit.
Spinach, just unlimited to add to your salad.
Yeah, and you wouldn't use the exact same equipment, but it's real similar.
So we're going to do that next week.
The light kit you would use, but some of this would be a little bit different.
You wouldn't have the pot and soil.
Well,
okay.
All right, good deal.
I
made a mess. I normally get it that.
Garden spotlight of the week. And as most of you know, we switched websites. So unfortunately, we lost some of our photos.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We didn't realize it till the other day. So if y'all would send us in a bunch more pictures, it doesn't have to be recent. It could be throughout the spring, the summer.
I'm gonna bust my butt off this. My stool has come unglued.
We'll just...
I was gonna have to be still. If y'all see me over, you'll know my come off my stool.
You know, we had to order some more stools for them back there. It must be lifespan is gone. Okay, garden spotlight. This week is Terry Barnett, aka Backyard Cardinals. We see him on our YouTube lives a lot. Zone 9 in Texas.
Oh, we get a lot of people from Texas. We've been talking to them. They've been telling me just how hot and dry it is.
He said, in a drought with 100+ temps, and you know about the heat index.
Yep.
Here's a few things that they're growing.
Yep.
And I think he must love photography, because if you flip to the next one, he sent some gorgeous pictures.
Yeah, look at the squash right there. Oh man, look at that bloom.
Sweet potato
Sweet
bloom.
potato bloom, yep. Mine's blooming also. Yep. Okra bloom, it looks like. Yep. And then peanuts, yep. Peanut bloom there. Yep.
Yeah. So thank you, Terry, and everybody else. Send us in some more photos so we can show them weekly.
All right, folks, the old goat figurine's on the set somewhere, and no, it's not me, but if you find it, put in the comments below, and the next week we will draw, and we're going to send you a wonderful pair of socks. Now, these are our new Get Dirty socks.
That we do not sell.
The only way you can get you a pair of these dirty socks, Get Dirty socks, is if you win the old goat drawing. Now, you'll be the talk of the town when you go out wearing your Get Dirty socks.
They might.
And this week's winner is Steve and Audra Almond. I hope I said that right. Steve and Audra there. Send us your shipping address to custserve@hosstools.com. And you know what? We meant to send them 2 pair.
Yeah, I don't think about that.
Yep. Of their Get Dirty socks. Woo! All right.
What else we got coming up?
We got Pillars to the Past coming up. I know we've talked about it a lot.
Weeks, yeah.
Man, we're excited about it.
We are excited. Talked to him yesterday. There's 33 different YouTube/vendors that's going to be there. It's a free event, September the 9th. They do want you to go on the website and register just so they have an idea how many people's coming. There's a couple of speakers, and that seating is limited. It is free, but you do need to register if you want to sit in on those.
So you know you have nothing else to do that week anyway. It's too hot to get out there and do a whole lot. So do a little road trip. Come see us.
Sounds good. On the website,
yeah, we got pre-sales. We got
pre-sales
garlic, folks.
Garlic, couple different types of garlic.
5 different types of garlic. 5 varieties of garlic. Elephant garlic, which is not a true garlic.
I was going to remind you of that.
And strawberry plants as well. So strawberry plugs, excuse me. So we got all that. Go ahead and go on the website and reserve yours today. We always sell out. Always sell out. So get that. And the onion plants will be next. We'll start selling onion plants pre-sale probably next month on those.
And we still have our sale going on. We've got a lot of things sold out.
We'll talk about the sale. Yeah.
Why not?
I was. Our people in the back is swamped.
Yeah, so
normally we pride ourselves on getting orders out the same day, folks. We'll be lucky if we get through by the end of the week.
Right. So we're not as fast.
We're not as fast, but we figure you're stocking up, so you didn't need them as fast. And believe you me, we got people in the seed room working.
And we do appreciate their response. It's been overwhelming to some of our people, but awesome.
Yeah. Poor Meyer, the lady that runs the seed room back there, I went back there this morning. I put my arm around Meyer. I said, Meyer, she was struggling. I said, Meyer, do you know how you eat elephant? She said, yes, sir. I said, 1 bite at a time. And that's the way you got to get these orders out. There's some orders about there that's 5 or 6 pages long that they're working on. So They will get them out to you, so just bear with us a little bit on getting these seed oils out, because there's a lot of them out there. Anyhow,
We're not complaining.
we're not complaining. Thank you guys for your support. And think about growing some lettuces inside there. Very little investment, and you grow spinach as well. A lot of different stuff you can grow there. We're going to be doing a little series on this indoor growing for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Thank you for joining us. I hope your day is going well. We hope you are enduring this heat best you can, like we are. And we hope you can still get your hands dirty. Thank you.